So I finally added rooms into the game. So as you can see, this is the ship, and then there's 3 rooms, and there's a bunch of crew members here for me to test, like the crowd control logic. So right now for today I implemented the logic of the rooms and having rooms and the area of the rooms. So basically now what I did is that the grid is attached to the rooms instead of the ship itself. So so this means that the grids are isolated from each other and they don't have to generate at the edge of the ship or in some awkward places. So the grids will only generate in places that the player, I mean not the player, but what the developer decides would be the room. And the benefit to this is that I can, instead of adding walls, I can just make it so that the edge tiles here would be marked as an obstacle, so that the walls would be completely independent from the room logic, and you can just put whatever wall orientation you want. But the only limitation right now is that the rooms are only available in rectangles right now. As for the obstacles and the edges, so that's missing right now. Supposedly there should be obstacles, or the tiles at the edge of the room should be marked as an obstacle to indicate that crew members are not allowed to stand there, but as you can see they're standing there. It's because I can find a proper solution to that yet, but I'm sure I'll find one. But I just skipped that for now because I spent too much time trying to think of a good solution to that. But I just skipped that for now and just worked on the room positioning logic. So right now I just started something simple. So basically just positioning and the crew members in the room accordingly, so they don't clump up and they don't take up the same tile space. So right now you can see there are 2 rooms here that has crew members. Let me select 3 guys here and I move them to the other room. Okay, wait, let me find a better angle. Okay, let's just do it like this. So you select these 3 guys and then I want to move it to the other room. I right click here and now they're adjusting themselves based on the amount of crew members in the room. So this is just one of the basic functions that I implemented for now. So basically just coordinating with each other to make sure they don't take up the same space depending on the amount of crew members. So this already serves as a good foundation for the TFT combat system, so they don't clump up with each other. Right now there's just like a bit of a weird thing happening where they go back and then they go forward again. I'm sure this is just a simple fix. I just haven't looked into it yet. But yeah, as you can see, they're just organizing themselves now. And yeah, I also changed it so that you're not assigning crew members to specific tiles. Instead, you're assigning them to rooms, since we're trying to mimic FTL and Void War, so this is probably the best way to approach it. Okay, I can also move 1 guy at a time. As you can see, they're adjusting themselves. But yeah. Okay, so this is basically it. I just made the necessary setup for me to implement the TFT combat by implementing the room system and having the room logic started. I mean the room positioning logic started. So for my next steps, I'm gonna look into creating, actually I think creating the walls could be for later, but I'm not sure. But the obstacles and the edges. I'm not sure if I should do that first or I should work on the crew member combat. I think I have to work on the edges first. They should be marked as an obstacle so that nothing weird happens when I'm working on the combat positioning. So yeah, I'll do that next, and also create doors so that they can pass through each other. I mean, pass through each room, I mean. And then after that, I can start working the positioning logic. So Amit's idea was good. Amazon suggested to me that the positioning of the crew members are just decided by the rooms itself instead of individual pathfinding. So this is much more manageable for me to work with, and it's more predictable and less unstable. So as you can see, I already managed to make them organize themselves without having some weird back and forth with the pathfinding. But yeah, so that's my update for today. Thanks for watching.